I was 6 to 7 years old when I finally realized something terrifying. My own daughter didn't love me. She needed me. And there's a big difference. For years, Patricia lived in my house with her teenage son, Ethan. When she first asked to move back after her divorce, I didn't hesitate. Just until I get back on my feet, she promised. That was 6 years ago. At first, everything seemed normal. I cooked dinner, helped Ethan with homework, and paid most of the bills while Patricia figured things out. Slowly, things started changing. Patricia stopped saying thank you. Then she stopped asking. Eventually, she started ordering me around. Mom, wash Ethan's clothes. Mom, make dinner earlier. Mom, don't touch the money in that account. That last one confused me, because the account she was talking about was my retirement account. One afternoon, while looking for an insurance paper, I opened the family desk drawer. Inside was a stack of bank statements. My name was on them, but the withdrawals I didn't recognize. $800, $1,2, $2,5. My hands started shaking. I walked into the living room where Patricia was scrolling through her phone. Patricia, I said softly, did you take money from my account? She didn't even look up. Yes. My heart dropped. You, what? She sighed like I had just asked the most annoying question in the world. Mom, relax. Nidade. Nidade? I whispered. That's my retirement. She finally looked at me. And what she said next shattered something inside me. Well, you live here too. For a moment I couldn't speak. My own daughter was treating me like a guest in my own home. That night, I sat in my bedroom staring at the ceiling. For years I had told myself Patricia was just stressed, just struggling, just temporary. But deep down, I knew the truth. My daughter wasn't struggling. She was controlling me. And the scariest part? I had no idea how much power she had already taken. But the very next day, I would discover something that made my blood run cold. Something Patricia never wanted me to see. And when I did, everything changed. The next morning started like any other. I made breakfast. Patricia barely spoke to me. Ethan left for school. But something inside me had shifted. For the first time in years, I started paying attention. Later that afternoon, Patricia left the house for work. She slammed the door behind her without saying goodbye. The silence felt strange, almost peaceful. I decided to organize some old documents in the office room. That's when I saw it. A folder labeled Power of Attorney. My stomach tightened. I slowly opened it, and my entire world tilted sideways. There, in black ink, was my signature. But I didn't remember signing it. The document gave Patricia complete financial control over everything I owned. My bank accounts, my pension, even the house. My hands started trembling. How? I whispered. Then I noticed something else. Date. It had been signed 3 years earlier. 3 years ago, Patricia had asked me to sign some insurance paperwork. I had trusted her. I never even read it. My chest felt heavy. Had my daughter really tricked me into giving her control over my entire life. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Patricia. "Don't cook tonight. I'm going out." "Niece." "No, thank you. Just orders." This chimney. Something inside me didn't feel afraid anymore. It felt angry. For years, I had been treated like a burden in my own home. But now, I understood something important. Patricia's power only existed because I gave it to her. And if that was true, then maybe I could take it back. That night, after Patricia left, I searched for one thing: a lawyer. And the next morning, I made the phone call that would change everything. But what the lawyer told me next was even more shocking, because Patricia's plan was far worse than I ever imagined. I thought discovering the power of attorney was the worst part. I was wrong. The lawyer's office smelled faintly of coffee and old paper when I sat across from Mr. Daniel Brooks. His calm eyes studied the documents I had brought. At first, he didn't say anything, and the silence made my heart pound harder. Finally, he looked up. "Mrs. Lawson, I'm going to ask you something important." My throat tightened. "Did you knowingly give your daughter permission to control your finances?" "No," I whispered. His expression darkened. That's what I was afraid of. A chill ran down my spine. He turned his computer screen toward me. "Because according to these records, your daughter hasn't just been using your money." My stomach twisted. "She's been borrowing money in your name." The room started spinning. "Borrowing?" Mr. Brooks nodded slowly. 3 personal loans. 2 credit lines. He pointed to the numbers on the screen. The total nearly made me faint. $87. My voice shook. "I never approved that." "That's the problem," he said quietly. "With the power of attorney, she legally could." My chest felt heavy. For years I had trusted Patricia with everything, and she had been quietly turning my life into a financial disaster. "But there's something even worse," the lawyer said. I looked up slowly. "What?" He leaned forward. "If those debts go unpaid, creditors could place claims on your assets." My heart stopped. My assets. The house included. House. The home my late husband and I had worked our entire lives to buy. The house Patricia had moved into temporarily. My hands started shaking. "She's going to lose my house." Mr. Brooks corrected me gently. "No, Mrs. Lawson." His voice was calm but serious. "She's going to make you lose it." For a moment, I felt completely helpless. But then something inside me shifted, because suddenly I realized something important. Patricia thought she had already won. She believed I was weak. She believed I would never fight back. And that mistake would become her biggest problem. I looked straight at the lawyer. "What do I need to do to stop her?" Mr. Brooks slowly smiled. "First," he said, "we take back your power." But when he explained the next step, I realized something terrifying. Because stopping Patricia meant doing something that could destroy our family forever. And once I started, there would be no going back. That night I didn't sleep. Instead, I sat in my living room thinking about every moment. Patricia had made me feel small in my own home. Every insult, every order, every dollar she had stolen. By morning, my sadness had turned into something else. Resolvi. When I met Mr. Brooks again the next day, we moved quickly. First, we revoked the power of attorney. Second, we froze my financial accounts. Third, we began documenting everything Patricia had done. From this moment forward, Mr. Brooks told me, every action she takes will be recorded. But the next step surprised me. You should act like nothing has changed. Nothing, I asked. Que nada. If Patricia thinks you've discovered the truth, she become careful. He leaned closer. But if she believes you're still under her control, she expose herself, I finished. Exactly. So that evening, when Patricia came home, I did something very difficult. I pretended everything was normal. She dropped her purse on the table. Mom, did you pay the electricity bill? Yes, I replied quietly. Guide. No thank you. No appreciation. Just expectation. But this time, I wasn't angry. I was watching. Later that night, I heard Patricia talking on the phone in the kitchen. Her voice was low, excited. I know, she whispered. Once the house is sold, everything will be easy. My heart nearly stopped. Sold? I carefully moved closer to the hallway. Then I heard the next sentence. We just need her to sign the final paperwork. My blood ran cold. Patricia Wazinensis. She was planning to sell my house. And she believed I would blindly sign the documents. But what Patricia didn't know was that the trap had already been set. And the day she tried to sell my home would be the day everything collapsed. For the next week, I watched Patricia carefully. Every phone call, every document, every suspicious meeting. She thought I was still the quiet, obedient mother who never questioned anything. But behind the scenes, everything was changing. Mr. Brooks called me one afternoon with important news. Mrs. Lawson, I found something interesting in your property records. What he said, I asked nervously. He sounded almost amused. The house isn't technically in your personal name anymore. My heart skipped. What do you mean? Years ago, he explained, your late husband placed the house inside a legal trust. Suddenly, memories rushed back. My husband had once mentioned a safety plan, but I had never paid much attention to the legal details. So what does that mean? I asked. Mr. Brooks' voice became firm. It means your daughter cannot legally sell this house. Relief washed over me. Patricia had been planning something impossible. But Mr. Brooks wasn't finished. However, she clearly doesn't know that. And that was when the idea came. What if we let her try? Said slowly. The lawyer paused. You want to let her expose herself. Exactly. Because if Patricia attempted to sell property she didn't legally control, it could be considered fraud. And suddenly, for the first time in years, I felt powerful again. But the real test came 3 days later. Because that afternoon, a stranger knocked on my door. Hello, he said politely. I'm the real estate agent Patricia, hired to evaluate this house. My daughter was moving faster than I expected. The game had officially begun. But Patricia had no idea. She was walking straight into a disaster she created herself. The confrontation happened on a rainy Thursday afternoon. Patricia had invited the real estate agent back for what she called a final meeting. She believed today would be the beginning of her new life. What she didn't know was that I had invited someone too. When the agent arrived, Patricia greeted him confidently. "Everything will be ready soon," she said. "All we need is my mother's signature." I stood quietly in the hallway listening. Then Patricia called out, "Mom, can you come sign something?" I walked into the room slowly. The agent smiled politely and placed the documents on the table. Patricia pushed a pen toward me. "Just sign here," she said impatiently. I looked at the papers. It was exactly what I expected. A property sale agreement. I placed the pen down. "I won't be signing that." Patricia froze. "What?" Sais nu. Her voice turned sharp. "Mom, stop being difficult." That's when the front door opened. Mr. Brooks walked inside. Patricia's face turned pale. "Who is that?" "My lawyer," I replied calmly. The real estate agent looked confused. Mr. Brooks placed a folder on the table. "Miss Lawson," he said to Patricia, "this property is protected under a legal trust." The room fell silent. "Which means," he continued, "you have no authority to sell it." Patricia's voice cracked. "That's not true." "But the documents said otherwise." And the realization slowly spread across her face. Her entire plan had just collapsed. But she still didn't understand the worst part. Because Mr. Brooks wasn't finished yet. Patricia's hands were shaking now. "You planned this," she said angrily. I looked at her quietly. "No," I replied. "You did." Mr. Brooks opened another folder. "Miss Lawson," he said calmly, "we also have documentation of the loans you took under your mother's identity." Patricia's face went white. "That's impossible." "It's fraud," he continued, "and it's a criminal offense." The room became completely silent. For the first time in years, my daughter looked afraid. "Mom," she whispered suddenly, "you wouldn't do that to me." "Wouldn't he?" For years, she had treated me like a servant, like a bank account, like a burden. Now, she finally understood the consequences. I took a deep breath. "I'm giving you a choice," I said. Patricia stared at me. "You leave this house today," I continued. "You take responsibility for the debts you created. And you never try to control my life again." Her voice trembled. "And if I don't?" Mr. Brooks answered for me. "Then we move forward with legal charges." Tears filled Patricia's eyes. For once, they didn't control me. An hour later, she packed her things. By sunset, she was gone. The house felt quiet again. Beasefu, for the first time in years. It truly felt like my home. And as I sat by the window watching the evening sky, I realized something important. The hardest part of loving someone is knowing when to stop letting them hurt you. And sometimes, the strongest revenge isn't destroying someone. It's finally choosing yourself. If this story touched your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories about betrayal, justice, and strength. And tell me in the comments, did Margaret make the right decision? Or would you have forgiven Patricia? I read every comment,